From CBS News. Germany is prosecuting online trolls. Here's how the country is fighting hate speech on the internet. Sure, here you go.
6:01 on a Tuesday morning, and we were with state police as they raided this apartment in northwest Germany.
Hier ist die Polizei, wir mussten bitte mal mit Ihnen reden.
Inside, 6 armed officers searched a suspect's home, then seized his laptop and cell phone. Prosecutors say those electronics may have been used to commit a crime. The crime, posting a racist cartoon online.
Stasi.
At the exact same time across Germany, more than 50 similar raids played out. Part of what prosecutors say is a coordinated effort to curb online hate speech in Germany.
So I want to play this this clip for you.
It's illegal to display
Let me pull this here tweet in.
Nazi symbolism, a swastika, or deny the Holocaust. That's clear. Is it a crime to insult somebody in public?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
And it's a crime to insult them online as well?
Yes.
The fine could be even higher
Yeah.
if you insult someone in the internet.
Why?
Because in internet, it stays there. If we are talking here face to face, you insult me, I insult you, okay, finish. But if you in the internet, if I insult you or a politician,
That sticks around forever.
yeah.
Or a
The
politician.
prosecutors explain German law also prohibits the spread of malicious gossip, violent threats, and fake quotes. If somebody posts something that's not true, and then somebody else reposts it or likes it, are they committing a crime?
Yeah, in the case of reposting, it is a crime as well, because the reader can't distinguish whether you just invented this or just reposted it. That's the same for us.
The punishment for breaking hate speech laws can include jail time for repeat offenders. But in most cases, a judge levies a stiff fine and sometimes keeps their devices. How do people react when you take their phones from them?
They are shocked. It's a kind of punishment if you lose your smartphone. It's even worse than the fine you have to pay.
D-Day 2, everybody. It's time to reinvade Germany.
Sickening.
I got one more for you because, sure, my friends, what is this segment really? We're telling you that Germany sucks. It's about what they wanted to do to us. In this tweet that I posted, an individual on X who goes by Conspiratorial Templates and retweeted by Jess Margera, brother of Bam Margera. You know him.
Oh, yeah.
He's the drummer for a band called CKY. He's famous. This man tweets, "If we make this happen in America, the entire right side of the political spectrum will collapse within days. When they tell you who they are, believe them."
So our bass player, the bass player of All That Remains, used to be in a band with that guy.
With Jess?
Yeah. He was in CKY.
He was in CK. I love
Matt was in
CKY though.
Yeah.
Jess says he's not famous, and I'm like, bro, I know who you are. Like,
Well,
I rock CKY all the time.
yeah. Well, he
Jess
he
is a great person.
He is in no position.
oh, Jess has gone off the deep end.
He is in no position to be saying things like that. He is in absolutely no position.
Well, this is the thing.
Typical like male feminist type
So
situation.
listen.
And-
They're saying it's a quote tweet. 60 Minutes says posting or reposting false information in Germany can be a crime. Jess Margera retweeting this. So he locked his account. I followed him for a while because I've been a CKY fan. I can actually play some CKY songs. I can play 96 Quite Bitter Beings, of course. What 35-year-old, 30 to 40-year-old skateboarder doesn't know that song? And he posts nothing but fake news all day. Like just unhinged, weird blue anon conspiracy stuff. Wow. They don't realize, and this is the point. We know how the liberals think. They don't know how we think. And I say the liberals. I wouldn't consider. I don't know. I don't think Phil's a conservative. I wouldn't consider myself a conservative, but certainly by today's standards, we are all as conservative as this country is on average, I suppose, because the far left is the antithesis of whatever America is.
I wonder if Jess has like a J. Sweet Charlie Hebdo post from 10 years ago, you know, because these Germans, the way they're talking, it's like a state-sanctioned approval of the attack on Charlie Hebdo, not to the violent degree, but they're so against offensive speech that they're willing to ruin your life.
Well, not only ruin your life. I mean, they're willing to destroy their society.
Yeah.
Mark Anderson on Joe Rogan was really chilling about like why he ended up supporting Donald Trump, because he basically said, he was like, this was the election to save democracy. And it was funny. One of my favorite anecdotes from election night was in Pennsylvania, they were doing exit polling of people and they asked, why did you vote the way you did? And they didn't say who they voted for, but the people who said, I'm voting to save democracy, all the Democrats that I follow on Twitter were like, yes, yes. And then the exit poll, all the crosstabs came out, and the people who voted to save democracy voted for Donald Trump.
Yeah, I mean, it was very clear to anyone that was, again, not ideologically captured by the left.
Yeah.
People that were just normal, that were politically marginally engaged, that the things that the Democrats want were completely antithetical to anything that you would consider liberal, right? So there's the colloquial liberalism that we use in the United States, which Rush Limbaugh ruined that word in the 90s, and it's confusing and a pain in the butt. But the progressives in the United States have destroyed liberalism. They're no friend to liberal policies, and by liberal I mean liberal in the classical sense. They're no friend to free speech. Clearly, the freedom of speech is not something that they care about. They obviously have. If they don't care about the freedom of speech, they definitely don't care about property rights. And so property rights is something that I harp on, because property rights are literally the foundation of your society. If you do not have a government that protects property rights, then you don't have investment, and you have a failed economy, and you are just months away from famine and starvation.
The Democrats, before I left New York, the state Democrats were trying to pass a bill where they could take you out of your house, remove you if you are a threat, a health threat. Didn't pass, and they've been trying to pass it for years.
I remember. That was crazy because people didn't believe it was real.
Yep.
There was a state law in New York that said that if you were at risk of like infection or whatever, they could take you from your home by force and put you in an institution. And it was so crazy that it sounded like it was fake. And then it was like, actually, they've been trying to do that for a while.
At least the Chinese, like they weld your home shut. At least you stay at home, right?
Yeah.
You know?
No, I mean, I didn't watch all of it, but J.D. Vance just gave a really great speech. It
was good,
in Munich, and it was I like basically just a masterclass in like this is what normal civilization believes in, and this is the future of how we survive as a civilization, not just as a country. I had a reporter come to my house a couple months ago from Germany, from like one of these big German magazines, because she wanted to interview homeschool moms. I homeschool my kids, and I have 6 of them, so I'm already like the super weirdo for her. And she just could not wrap her brain around it. She's like, but how is this legal to have the freedom to do what you want with your own children?
That's remarkable. That's
I spent 2.5 hours with her. I could not explain it.
No, but just you call her a Nazi. But I mean, I'm not joking. I'd be like, what I would literally say to a person who said that to me, I'd say, well, I suppose as a Nazi, you probably don't understand the freedoms we have in this country and what we fought and why we fought you guys. And then she'd be like, oh, I'm not a Nazi, and be like, then I would act equally as stupid and confused, be like, but you don't believe in freedom, just like the Nazis, and you think the government should control everything, just like the Nazis. How are you not a Nazi? And then she'd freak out.
It's like
because
they
you're not
have
smart enough.
applied Nazism over there. They just don't realize it's embedded itself into the
It is
culture.
wild. They're like the way they laughed about seizing people's devices. I'm just like, I hope, you know what, man? I saw the rumor going around that Trump wants to get us out of NATO, and I'm like, man, I don't know. Like, maybe it's a big ask. I don't know how heavy we want to be. Make them pay their fair share. Maybe get less aggressive. NATO's fine to a certain degree. Now I'm just like, after that, Germany's got to pay.
Yeah.
Like I don't accept them as a Western ally of ours. Sure. I look at Saudi Arabia and we all grumble when we're like doing oil deals with Saudi Arabia. We don't praise them for their cultural beliefs and endeavors. Germany, same thing. Backwards. These countries in Europe are backwards.
Absolutely.
They're going to take it over again with that kind of culture.
Well, they're going to be taken over by the left in their own country.
They're going to be.
Well, yes, they have been taken over by the left in their own country, and that's part of what we were talking about earlier. Yeah. We live in a world that is steeped in leftism. I tweeted this the other night. Maybe the Berlin Wall was actually good. Maybe
seems like East Germany won.
Rebuild the wall.
It kept them out. Rebuild the wall. It kept things maybe the Iron Curtain was good. You know, because at least it wasn't infecting the rest of the world. It seems that with the fall of the fall of communism, actually just allowed it to seep into the rest of the West.
Olaf Scholz, rebuild that wall. I did have to Google who the current chancellor of Germany was.
I was really impressed with you just now. I was like, I didn't know that name.
I was like, after Angela Merkel, I got no idea what's happening in that country.
Right.
I'm so glad.
I know that Pop-Tarts are illegal.
What?
Yeah, Pop-Tarts are illegal.
Too free.
So one of our skaters here at the Boonies is it could be Germany or Austria, I don't know, but she was telling us how Pop-Tarts are illegal, and then we all made the joke like if you're slinging Pop-Tarts in an alley and you get caught. No, like they're not going to arrest you for it. It's just not legal to sell at markets and stuff, or like because of the chemicals and the products that are in it.
Fair enough.
And I was just like,
Very Maha.
that's it. They've gone too far.
Took the Pop-Tarts off the shelves.
I mean, well, look, there's a big question in that. I mean, do we want to make Pop-Tarts illegal? Or I don't think anybody wants to make Pop-Tarts illegal. We just want people to be better informed, and there's certain things that shouldn't be in them. But there's a question there of, do we go the Bloomberg route where he said poor people are too stupid, so we should decide for them what to eat? Or do we just say if you want to have a liter of cola and a quadruple Big Mac, do whatever you want? The problem then is people just gorge themselves till they die and then demand free health care. So it's like, yeah, it's a double-edged sword. Which one do you do?
So I think of the Fruity Pebbles. I think it was or Fruit Loops. What was the New York Times hit piece on?
It was Fruit Loops.
It was Fruit Loops against RFK. Where they're like, he complains so unnecessarily, and then they gave the example of Fruit Loops in Canada versus here, and I'm like, well, I just want Canadian Fruit Loops now.
Well, because Canadian Fruit Loops are colored with carrot and blueberries.
Beets.
And beets, and American Fruit Loops are like insert word you can't pronounce here.
Fentanyl?
That's all I wanted. And it's frustrating actually as a parent because they throttle formula so that the like only good formula that you can get for a baby is from Europe, and they don't allow you to import it. Like
we were smuggling some in.
So then
I know.
how do
Our
you
first
get it?
child.
you have to smuggle it.
How do you smuggle it? Go there and get it?
No,
I know people who know people.
No, you have to like order from European companies who will just send it in an unmarked box. Like it's really crazy.
Have you noticed though that some of those really good brands were bought by bigger corporations and the ingredients changed?
Yes.
So the ones you thought were good are now bad. It's so messed up.
Yeah, no,
It's
I mean,
messed up.
it's and we were facing this during. I've always breastfed my kids, so I've mostly been able to avoid it, thank God. But like, we saw this during the formula crisis where people were trying to get formula from Europe because we didn't have any in America, and they're like, no, you can't import formula from Europe because we don't know it's safe. And it's like, well, but you don't have any on the shelf here.
You know what's crazy though is like human civilization used to have wet nurses.
Yeah.
Like if the mother didn't have enough food for the baby, you just ask a different mother who had too much food for her baby. But that's like unthinkable these days.
Yeah.
Human civilization is mechanizing to the point where
during the formula shortage, I did know moms who were sharing breast milk.
Yeah.
Wow.
But that can be dangerous though, because like if you have an infection, if you have a virus, personally I would do formula over some unknown woman's milk.
But think about what formula is. Like you're literally concocting a formula to give baby.
Yeah, and there's a lot of bad stuff in the formula in this country.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Not surprising.
It was crazy to me when that happened because I did not know this. Where it was just like, some moms don't have milk, so they need formula. And I'm like, they need a chemical concoction of nutrient-dense sludge to give the baby? How did humans survive for hundreds of thousands of years?
When my
wet nurses.
When my grandma gave birth to my mom in the late 50s, a doctor went around the hospital and gave every woman a pill to dry up their milk.
Yeah.
What?
Promoted formula.
Yeah.
So there's a whole generation of people raised on formula and not breast milk because they said it was kind of like a poor thing to do.
Yeah.
That's how they sold it. That was propaganda.
Yeah. So on my podcast, I do the Mom Wars with a British woman named Cara Kennedy, and she said still in Europe they people still do the formula, and she said on the podcast last night, she's like, that's not what we do from where I'm from, and I was like, really? I thought that was wild.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.